Hello, Kindred Spirits, and welcome to my spiritual oasis. Here, weary souls come to find inner wisdom and peace. Today, we're going to be doing a Soulful 7 reading, geared towards Lightworkers, Starseed energy today. As per usual, our Soulful 7 messages are soul-filling messages that you are meant to take with you on the week moving forward from this point, the next 7 to 10 days. Nothing is prepared, everything will be intuitive for these readings. There will be 3 groups, and the links to those groups will be in the description bar below. So if you need to pause the video at this time to determine which group has your message in it, please do so now. Otherwise, we are going to just move right into our readings. Hello, group number 1, and welcome to your reading. Alright, so soul-filling messages for my Lightworkers, my Starseed energy for the week, 7 to 10 days from now. What is our guiding message for group number 1? Guiding message. Okay. Earthed. Learning how to be human in the world, but not of it. I love this. In the world, but not of the world. So, I mean, I feel like that message is geared specifically towards my Lightworkers. I'm sorry, my Starseeds. But, you know, as spiritual beings in general, the idea or concept is not foreign to us about living in this world, being a part of the world, you know, manifesting in the world, but not being of the world. And because of that, there's going to be some conflict. There's going to be some adjustment. There's going to be some need for grace in order to learn and to figure things out. So learning how to be human, learning how to reside on this earth as a multifaceted, dynamic being, interdimensional for some of us. But the idea is, to me, the message here is about grace and being gentle with yourself as you acclimate to your current climate. This could also be talking specifically to some of you who might be in a new situation, at a new job, live in a new city, in a new country, whatever that might look like. It's this idea of newness and giving yourself time to adapt and to learn the way that things are and to be gentle with yourself on the path. And so we have our Phantom Quartz. And I definitely see a connection here in the message of our Phantom Quartz, this idea of embracing change. And again, like I said, for some of you, it could be very direct and specific to a new earthly experience. And for others, and in general, just a reminder that we are spiritual beings having a earthly experience or having a human experience. So just keeping all of that in mind. And again, that grace, that gentleness that you're showing to yourself when you are acclimating to a different situation, or even just, you know, acclimating to life in general, even if you're not specifically in a new situation. So then we have Lapis Lazuli. And the message that I see here is this idea of making a decision, or making decisions, making choices. This is 7 of Cups energy to me is what I'm feeling for this, with this idea of making decisions. So you could be in a place where you are actively needing to make a decision or make a choice between something or someone. Or this could also be kind of a warning to let you know that you will need to make a decision. And for some of you, like I mentioned, being in a new city, taking a new job, being in a new country, all this like kind of newness around you, that might not have happened yet. It might be something that is coming. And I feel like for some of you, this is kind of a message that that situation is coming for you, and to basically prepare to make a decision. And I feel like the best way to do that is to just have a sound, grounded idea, concept of what your destined path is, what your destiny is, what are your desires for your life, what do you want to see come to fruition in your world, and kind of moving forward from that point on. But this idea of making decisions, embracing change, learning a new skill, learning a new job, learning a new way of life is very much so prevalent in our conversation today, group number 1. So keep that in mind as well. And again, that grace and forgiveness and just allowing yourself room and space to grow and learn in this new situation. So we had the healing temple, restoration, cure, and safety. So the initial energies that I am picking up off of the healing temple, this idea of spiritual competency, spiritual groundedness, focusing more on your spiritual walk, your spiritual life, and a little bit less of a focus on worldly matters. So yes, we are faced with worldly matters every single day. From the moment we open our eyes to the moment we close our eyes, we are faced with worldly things. Hunger, needing to, hygiene, work, connections or partnerships with other people, communication, just so many different earthly, worldly matters. Sometimes we get so we get distracted, honestly, and we're pulled away from our spiritual walk, our spiritual life sometimes, in some situations and circumstances. And I feel like the healing temple is really just reminding you that healing starts from the inside out. Healing begins from your spiritual, energy and resonates out. So that's the same thing for illness. If we're thinking of healing, if there is a need for healing, that means there is some sort of an ailment or some sort of an issue. And that again starts from the inside out as well. So making sure to pay attention to your spiritual life, your spiritual walk. And if you are watching this video, then you're well on your way to that you're taking time out of your very busy schedule to schedule yourself in and focus on what you need on your life journey, and just again focusing on your spiritual health and allowing that restoration, that prosperity, that inner abundance, that peace and that joy that's coming from the inside to percolate to your worldly experience. So we have the tower energy, which I feel like is very much solely connected to this idea of change. And I feel like in this situation, so the tower energy can definitely be talking about something that's going to take you off guard, that is a surprise, that is coming out of left field. But I feel like in this particular situation, there might be a hint under the surface. There might have been several signs. I'm getting the message for some of you that change is coming, that change needs to happen, and you're just in a place, or will soon be in a place, where you're going to have to make a tough decision. And I feel like if you're connecting with this message, you're listening to this message, and if something is tingling in the back of your head, then take an account of the world around you. Take an account of your life situations. Have people at your job and kind of making hints or saying things that have you scratching your head. Have you been really pulled towards maybe a specific, place in the country or the world that you can't get out of your heart or out of your head? Are there signs? Are there suggestions of change on the wind or in the wind for you? And so I am a strong believer that tower situations, like the abrupt, unexpected, completely out of left field, completely out of the blue moon moment, is very rare. Again, that's my belief. I feel like most of the time there are clues, there are hints. We are connected, and, you know, especially if we are connected spiritually and therefore connected on other levels to the workings and the understandings of how things are meant to go in our lives, that tower moments, in a shocking, surprising way, in their true form, are very rare. There are definitely, obviously, situations where tower moments happen. They're out of our control. They're completely out of left field or the blue, which I'm sure some people may have experienced those. But again, I feel like if you're here and the tower hasn't happened yet, that you have an opportunity to adjust the impact. You have an influence on the impact of that. And again, some of that might start from getting in alignment, getting grounded spiritually, and then, you know, coming from a place of peace, coming from a place of understanding, and having the ability to adjust and to change and to pivot as you need to in order to make the transformation less painful, is kind of a primary message here for you today, group number 1. So we also have the Two of Cups, which, man, for some of you, it's definitely a love message. It could potentially be a love message saying that, I'm getting lots of messages. I'm getting the message here that the Two of Cups could be talking about less about a partnership type of love and more about like more of a self-love, like a balance and a harmony between you know, your heart space and your head space, your spiritual life and your worldly life. So again, it's like that inner love, less about kind of external or romantic love. For some of you, I do feel like there is a romantic element to it, and it could be a new romance coming into your life, potentially a part of the decisions that you're making, potentially a part of the change that is happening. For some of you, the change might be painful and abrupt. You might be experiencing some sort of a breakup, a divorce, or some sort of other hard and difficult path or decision in love or romance. I also feel like the change that you're embracing, the decision that you are making, could also lead to a romantic situation if that is something that you're interested in. So lots of messages with our Two of Cups energy, and potentially some really exciting messages and energy there. So, and then we have the Emperor joining in on our conversation. So I do feel like if the romance reading or the love reading was resonating with you, this Emperor could represent either you or your lover, current or past or future, your current lover or your past lover. So that person is going to manifest divine masculine energy. That does not mean that they are a male, but divine masculine energy. So they're going to have really strong masculine probably placements in their astrological chart, but they're going to be a leader, self-starter. They're going to have a pretty dominant personality that could be an Aries or have really strong Aries placements in their chart. They are traditionalist in many senses of the word. They believe in like tradition and traditional like gender roles and things like that, but a very like masculine, dominant, fiery, commanding, but also like stable and a go-getter. Like this person is going to provide. They're a provider. They are a leader. They will fight and be very assertive / potentially aggressive when it comes to a love, like keeping that love and or obtaining that love. So if that is something you are interested in, some people are not, and that's totally fine. And some people are, and that's totally fine too. To each his own. To each his own. I also feel like the Emperor energy, okay, so if the love reading wasn't vibing with you, then the Emperor energy is something, that leadership role, making decisions and sticking to them, embracing the change, being able to Just take a leadership role in your life. Take a leadership role as far as like career, as far as business, or however you earn your money. That could also be what the Emperor is talking about as well. And this could also be a change. I'm getting like a change in leadership. So for your company, even for your life. So for example, say you are in a relationship with a dominant personality, there could be a message here that there's going to be a switch up or a change of leadership in your love life or in your life in general. So keeping that in mind too. That's also a message that came through. And then we have our dandelion. The key word there is humility. Okay, so there's a couple of things. So I feel like if you are vibing with the Emperor energy, as in that is your energy or the energy that you are manifesting currently, that these changes, the changes, some of the decisions that might need to be made, some of the change that's going on could be a humble moment for you. Potentially you've gotten off track. Potentially you've been focusing too much on worldly pursuits, too much on career and not enough on your spiritual walk or your family life or, whatever. There's just an imbalance there. This is the moment. This is a moment of humility. This is the moment to, that tower moment, again, if it ends up knocking you completely off your center, could be a moment of humility. A moment to, it's not like a teasing sort of thing. It's more just like gaining clarity on what the focus of your life should be like. What are you focused on? Are you in balance? Are you in harmony with your destiny? If you say you want a family life and you want a career and you want all these different things, yet you are putting all of your energy into, say, career, then those other areas are going to slack off. And sometimes, we have to have a humble moment where things don't work out the way we want or think that they should. And then we are put into a position where we have to, very interesting that this card came out. We'll talk about that in a second. We have to be put into a position where we have to start like taking accountability and, figuring out how we can readjust. Because life, again, we're learning how this human thing works, right? We are in this world. We are not of this world. So we have to learn the rules of the game. We have to be willing to fail and adjust and, admit when we've made mistakes. So a moment of humility could very well be a part of this change, this transformation, the decisions that need to be made. So these are the general messages overall for you, group number 1, for your week ahead. Again, the focus is on learning. The focus is on learning how to be in this, be in this world, to navigate the different obstacles that are going to come up without being afraid, without, defeat or feeling defeated. But like humbling yourself and being like, what, I don't know everything. There are some things that I need to learn. And a part of the learning process, there's going to be mistakes. There's going to be, again, obstacles that we will fail at and that we will succeed at. And failure really isn't failure unless you give up. Because you can only fail if you don't reach your goal. So keeping that goal in front of you and working it until you get there. Taking a leadership role in your life, especially if you are not currently. And just being open to a collaboration of heart and mind, whether that's with yourself and or with another person. So, that Two of Cups could also be talking about reconnecting, finding balance in a current relationship. So if you're already in a relationship, that Two of Cups could be talking about, again, balance and harmony within your relationship, balancing the heart, balancing the head, balancing the things that you guys have to do, and balancing the love portion, that adoration, And again, this idea of humility, like, we don't know everything going into anything. So learning is all a part of the process. We're constantly learning. We're constantly changing as we go through life. Change is the only absolute. So now we're going to get into our questions. These are questions that you're meant to take. Select one of the questions to take with you moving forward, to meditate on, to journal on for the week. So the first question is, where can I ask for more help in my life? And I thought this actually popped out of the deck while I was shuffling and wrapping up a comment. But this idea of asking for help is very important for you this week. So, as you're taking an account of, your earthly experience for the week, be really honest. Give them that humility. Be really honest with yourself about what you could use help with, and not being afraid to ask people. Like, the reason why you have support and loved ones, and the reason why you are a support and loved ones and a loved one in someone else's life, is so that you can ask them for help when you need it as well. So until we can receive with an open heart, we're never really giving with an open heart. So for my light workers out there, where you feel like you're the one who always has to be the generous one, that you are the one that always has to be, I'm getting like the Six of Pentacles energy here. You're always the one who gives, and you find it really, really difficult to receive. I feel like if that's you and you were triggered by that, this is the question that you should take with you for the week, because the Six of Pentacles really goes both ways if you think about the energy of that card. Either you are the giver or you are the receiver. And you're never the same every single time. There's time for giving and there's a time for receiving. It's all about balance, balance, balance. And that is one of the huge lessons that we are learning in our human experience, is that it's about balance. When you master balance, you gain a really powerful insight about life. Yes, asking for help is important. That Ten of Wands energy also could talk about that as well. All right, and then our second question, do I surround myself with people who lift me up? So if you are afraid to ask people around you, or not even afraid, but if you do ask the people around you for help and they always have excuses on why they can't help you or whatever, maybe it's time to reevaluate the circle of people that you're keeping around you, and making sure that you're keeping people around you that believe in you, that support you, that help you, that are going to be truthful and tell you the truth in a very loving way. So there's a little soul action for the week that you could try out or use as a journaling kind of like starter points. I really love these cards for that. And just being real, but just being truthful with yourself about your circle of friends. And that doesn't make you a bad person, doesn't make them necessarily a bad person. It's about finding the right fit. And if they're not the right fit, then great. If they are the right fit, then great. It doesn't shine negatively on either party. It's really just about what works and what doesn't work. And that might be a humble moment too for some. Like maybe that person, that friend that you kept around since high school, that maybe they're not, especially if they're not growing, they're not changing, they're not doing much with their life, maybe that's not the best bet for you. Maybe that's not the best direction for you right now. So just bearing all of that in mind. And then the final question that you could take with you for the week: am I consistently showing up? What we do, I'm trying to think, there's a quote that I heard from one of my favorite YouTubers, but what we do consistently is what we win at, I think is what they said. I could totally be messing that up. And they could have got that quote from someone else too. I don't really know. But this idea of consistency, are we consistently thinking negatively about ourselves? If we are, then that is what we are going to manifest. The fruits of that labor, if you will. So if you want to produce, a bountiful harvest that is beautiful and productive, make sure that you are paying attention to what you are doing consistently. What are your routines like? Are they helping you, or are they a challenge for you? Are they causing you difficulty? Or are they causing you to win? And making sure to show up and consistently show up when you want to, for the things that you want to win at. So group number 1. These are the messages that I have channeled for you today for this week. I certainly hope this was enlightening for you and helpful for you. If it was, make sure to drop a comment down below and let me know what resonated. Click like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are not already a part of the Kindred family. Please also make sure to connect with me on Facebook if you're so inclined to do that. That's really where I do a lot of my regular communications. I do random 1-card readings. I let you know when I produce, when I post new YouTube videos, and 3-card readings on my website. And I also let you know when I have posted new content to my Etsy shop, which is the last message here. To check out my Etsy shop if you're interested in some, content that I curate there for your spiritual and your life journey. So thank you so much, beautiful soul, for spending time with me today. I certainly appreciate your energy, and I will see you in an upcoming reading. Bye. Hello, group number 2, and welcome to your reading. We're going to go ahead and give your guiding energy cards a shuffle. Lightworker Starseed focus for group number 2. Lightworker Starseed focus for the week ahead, 7 to 10 days. This is a timeless reading. Whenever you find this video, the next 7 to 10 days, this is the focus. Child, okay, so we had a couple we had Child of the Cosmos and the Golden Children. Very interesting that we have this theme of children in both of our guiding energies. So our Child of the Cosmos talks about the intelligence of the universe lies within you. I love that. And the Golden Children, your inner child, tenderness, innocence, and rare gifts. Ooh, I feel like these are so connected. First of all, I want to call out the idea of child. This idea of innocence, this idea that children don't question their interests. They don't question, they'll ask you questions, but I'm saying that, if they're naturally drawn to painting, let's say, or drawn to music, or the songs that they get into their head that they love, or the shows that they like to watch, or the things that they like to play with, they don't question that stuff. Like adults, we will question things all day. We're thinking about practicality and all these other sorts of things, whereas children don't do that. So I feel like the message here is for you to embrace that innocent, childlike energy where you just go where you're called to go. This idea of rare gifts. So focusing in less about practicality and I don't have the time to do that, or I don't have the talent to play the violin. If you're being called to play the violin, pick that instrument up and play that, because you never know what it could become. Also, that this idea of being a child of the cosmos and that the intelligence of the universe lies within you. I personally believe that children know everything that there is to know about life. And as we grow older and we start inundating ourselves with reason and logic and practicality and gravity and all of these sorts of lessons, we forget like the big picture information that is in us. But that doesn't mean that we can't tap into that knowledge. We can, we just have to try at it now. Whereas children, it's just natural to them. Their instincts, their intuition, they follow that, they feel that, and then they learn how to not follow it. They learn how to not ignore it. They learn how to question it. They learn how to put logic to it. And sometimes that's good, you know, on some levels, but on other levels, you know, it just kind of sucks all of that natural gifted energy out of you. So I went on a very long conversation about this, but I was just really think it's awesome that these both popped out of the deck, and just a very interesting conversation to have. So I feel like the message in general overall for the next week is to tap into some of your, it could be like child interests, like things that you were interested in as a child that you dropped off because of whatever, you know, your adult life was pushing you into another direction. I feel like it also like that childlike innocence and asking questions and truly embracing your calling and being less busy with life, with other life things, and spending a little bit more time with yourself and finding out what you truly enjoy in your heart of hearts, and what you truly want from your existence here. So channeling childlike energy is the focus for the week for you. So we have a resurrection, comeback, a rebirth, renewal. Oh my gosh, how is that not connected to what we are talking about? I don't know. But this idea of a rebirth, this idea of coming back, this idea, again, it just feels like childlike energy. And in order to tap into this stuff, some of this stuff might be repressed because of childhood trauma. So there might be some root work that needs to be done as well for you, group number 2. So that could be kind of a focus or what you lean into for the week, is doing some root work, getting down to, again, what are your natural talents? What are those rare gifts? What are those things that you didn't really think about, obviously, when you were a child because they were just interests and you just did them? And, you know, they fell off the face of the earth because of life and all of that stuff. Just kind of revisiting some of that. So we have Malachite, time to transform. Oh my gosh, these messages are so like connected. What I think is really interesting is this idea of so sometimes I feel like we think, oh, we're going backwards, right? I feel like I could definitely hear someone saying, oh, going back to childhood, going back to things that you've done in the past is like going backwards. Isn't that kind of like losing ground? Or, you know, I feel like sometimes we have to go back to go forward. So this idea of coming back, sometimes we do loops, right? We think we want to do something and then we're like, maybe not. So we go off and we venture and we do other things. And then we come to the conclusion that, you know what? Those other things, I don't really want to do that. I'm back to where I started before. And this is really what I want to do. And sometimes doing that loop, going around the barn and doing something completely different, is actually what gives us the true fuel, the true fire to end up doing what we want. Again, if we loop back to it, then we are more certain that this is what we want, that this is the direction that we want to go. Throwing cards all over the place. we're more certain about that, and then we pursue it with more ferocity. So I feel like that's kind of the message to you, is that, oh my gosh, this one popped out. This idea of returning to things that brought you joy, that brought you peace, that you were naturally connected to or drawn to. And then we have turquoise, prioritize your healing, is the energy of this crystal. And again, that root work, again, this idea of connecting spiritually, healing yourself from the inside out, and then that healing bringing about another kind of layer or level of connection or connectivity to life. And again, doing something with life, with your life, that you want to do with it, that you are loving. So put your healing first, for those of you who, and I feel like we all have a level of healing, right, that we need to do, especially when we're talking about childhood. So yeah, just, you know, sometimes healing is difficult. Rebirth, like birth the first time is hard, so rebirth also is going to be difficult. This idea of renewal, transformation, you know, there's a level of pain to it, there's a level of difficulty to it. So just understand that there is going to be some pain, some difficulty, some challenge. You know, even if we're like, yep, I loved playing the piano, had to stop for whatever reason, and now I want to return back to the piano. There's going to be, you know, there's going to be some conflict or some difficulty that's going to come from that transition, you know. So just be mindful of that and embrace it and be like, this is what I want to do. I'm going to do it no matter what. So we have the star energy coming forth, which to me is all about harmony, and it's very much solely connected to healing, and I would say inner peace, inner harmony, and inner balance. I feel like the star energy is also a beacon of hope, right? In the darkness, in the night sky, the stars are beacons of hope in the darkness. So this idea that there is light on the other side of the difficulty, of the challenge, as you're exploring and figuring out what you want to do, you know, going towards your gifts, going towards your passions, going towards what you know is the truth from the inside out, is really the hope of having a life that is fulfilling and that you desire. So we have the magician energy. I had a feeling I was gonna find the magician in this conversation, but the idea here is, again, manifestation. I feel like the magician is reminding you that you have all the tools at your disposal in order to make the life that you desire to come to fruition. And I feel like that is the major message of the magician here. And also a reminder that what you focus your energy on, what you focus on, is what you are going to manifest. And then we have the Eight of Cups, which talks about change. It talks about that fulfillment, that especially on the levels of emotions, resides elsewhere. The direction that you are currently going, you know, if you're feeling that emotional tug or that emotional kind of unfulfillment, that what you desire lies deeper, and that in order to get to that place, you have to dive deeper inside of yourself to figure out what it is that you truly want, what it is that you truly desire, what will make your life feel whole and complete. So some deep diving, soul searching, if you will, I feel like soul searching is a huge part of the message for you today, group number 2, you know. And to do that for you and come out with what you really desire is this idea of embracing these childlike qualities. Being less of a know-it-all grown-up and being more of that, you know, having that childlike energy where you're curious and you're questioning and you're open, and you're asking questions, but not so that you can blurt out the answer, but so that you can listen, so that you can hear, so that you can find the true answer that you're looking for, which is what direction your life should be going. So these are the general questions. Again, our focus is on finding our true calling, embracing that childlike energy inside of us in order to do so, and just really focusing on what you truly desire, and spiritual growth, spiritual well-being, and that rebirth, renewal, transformation, and healing, spiritual healing, from the inside out healing. Okay, so the next section here, we are going to be looking at our we're going to be adding some questions to the conversation that you can choose from to take with you for the week moving forward. So our first question, I'm struggling, it's fine. Okay. Am I ready to let go of this buried shame? I'm feeling root work for some of you, especially if you have a difficult or challenging past, whether that be childhood or just other parts of your life that maybe you did things that you're not particularly proud of. I'm just feeling like there's some deep forgiveness that needs to happen for some of you. So if that was triggering for you, this might be the question that you would want to take with you moving forward for the next 7 to 10 days, for the next week. And remember that these root work things, some of these like more deep-seated things, are going to take more than a week to work through. But I feel like taking the first step within the next 7 to 10 days is really the focus. So we had our turquoise with this idea of prioritizing your health, and then this idea of healing, shame, forgiveness, some of these deeper, more challenging transformations, rebirth, renewal, emotional fulfillment. So a lot of like kind of deep, emotive, and spiritual themes for you this week, group number 2. Yeah. Okay, so our second question: what expectations do I have that are impossible to meet? I got Virgo energy so hard. So if you have strong Virgo placements in your chart, this might be the question for you. Or even if you don't, if you're feeling connected to this card, obviously. But I feel like expectations is like the surefire way to disappoint yourself and or others. But expectations, really, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure. When you have like expectations for yourself or for others. And I wouldn't say like, I feel like expectations, especially impossible expectations, are not the same things as like goals and having things that you want to accomplish in life. You should definitely have things that you want to accomplish in life. But I feel like, especially those of us who have really intense and impossible expectations, if we are perfectionists, if we're the type of person that corrects people's grammar in our heads when they talk to us, that might be a hint or a clue that there's some impossible perfectionist types of energy going on. So I would just say be mindful of your expectations. Like setting goals and expecting yourself to meet those goals is one thing, especially if they're reasonable. But I feel like this particular question is for those of us who are maybe perfectionists or who just set impossible goals for ourselves to reach, and then we get really upset or disappointed when we don't reach them. So, do I surround myself with people who lift me up? I think group number 1 got this card as well. So, somebody needs to take account of the friends that they keep around them and or family and just energies in general. So making sure you're keeping people around you that inspire you, believe in you, are willing to help you when you need assistance, things like that. So taking into account of your friend groups and the people that you are putting energy into is an important theme for you this week for somebody. All right, group number 2. So these are the messages that I have channeled for you today. I certainly hope this was helpful for you. If it was, make sure to drop a comment down below and let me know what resonated. Click like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're not already a part of the Kindred family. Would love to have you. Please also do connect with me on Facebook. So that is where I do my more frequent communications. I let you know when I post new YouTube videos. I do random 1-card readings on there. I let you know when I post a new 3-card reading on my website. And I also let you know when I have provided new content on Etsy. So whether that be new personal readings or new other types of content that I curate there to help on your spiritual and life journey. So thank you so much for connecting with me today, beautiful soul. It was a pleasure, and I hope you have a great week, and I will see you in a future reading. Bye. Hello, group number 3, and welcome to your Soulful 7 reading, soul-filling messages for you, beautiful soul, for the next 7 to 10 days. These are timeless readings, so whenever you have found this this reading, this is meant to be your focus for the next week, the next 7 to 10 days. So I'm going to go ahead, shuffle out your energy. So we are focused on our Starseeds and Lightworkers today. What is the guiding message for our group number 3? Starseeds, Lightworkers, focus for the week. What is our guiding energy today? So, guiding energy. Star ancestors. Hidden secrets. Lost wisdom. Look a little deeper. Root work, root work, root work is the first message that came to mind here. And I'm just getting out my Hoodoo tarot because I feel like there is a message from your ancestors. All right, ancestral energy. What messages do you have for group number 3, ancestors? Group number 3, ancestors. Guiding messages. What wisdom do you have to share with group number 3? What messages for group number 3 do the ancestors have? Ancestors have a message of ancestors. It's amazing. Love it. All right, so we have the 5 of Sticks, which is fire energy. So this idea of conflict, and I feel like the message here is to be mindful of who is around you. There might be some gossiping or other people talking poorly about you. So just be mindful of the company that you keep, and also be mindful of your own gossiping. Like if you gossip or if you've been saying bad things about people behind their backs, your ancestors they hear you, and to be mindful of that type of behavior, because it does not bring about positive energy for you. So we also have the Six of Coins, which is about giving and receiving. So whether you are on the end where you are able to help other people, or if you are on the end where you need to be assisted, then I feel like that's the Six of Coins is saying. I feel like if you find yourself on the giving end of things, that you are in a positive place and in a prosperous place. And it's almost like kind of giving back, that when you have it to give back, you do so with an open heart. And that's one of the hidden secrets, is this idea of, it reminds me of 8 energy. So the idea of, our 8 energy talks about karma as the karmic symbol. It's about give and take. It's about achievement and prosperity, and also about giving some of that prosperity back to help other people on their way. And it's just like this karmic cycle. So that's the message I'm getting there for that. And then the Ancestors card is the Death card. So it talks about, I feel like the message here, it talks about this, again, that cyclical energy, about death and rebirth. It could also be talking about, with this idea of death, that it is time for you, as you look deeper, the message, there's a message of like coming back to the world, or returning from this sojourn, this deeper look, this discovery of the hidden secrets and the wisdom, coming back into another place of your life and rebirthing into your life, and just like changing things up, basically. It's about change, it's about transformation, and I feel like this is an inside out sort of thing. Yeah, death and rebirth. What needs to go in order to make room for something that is going to be more beneficial and going to help you on your life journey? All right, so we have Sky Fire. It talks about messages, channels, and information. This is very air energy to me, this idea of communication, this idea of messages. I feel like there are messages coming your way that is going to provide you with information that you're looking for. So this idea of lost wisdom, really connecting with your ancestors. I'm feeling like doing some root work, doing ancestral work, and connecting with your past lives as well, in order to give you a deeper look of who you are, where you've come from, and the direction that you need to go. I'm getting the message for some of you that your path forward might be blocked, that you might be feeling disconnected, or just having an inability to connect on a spiritual level for some cases, and you might not know why. And I'm getting the message here that like past life karma, past life messages, getting to know what your past lives were on a deeper level, so that that you can use that information to shape your future. But I just feel like there's a difficulty seeing what's coming because you don't know what was. And in order to avoid the difficulties or challenges of the past, you have to be connected with, you do have to know that information. So doing some root work, doing some past life work would be very beneficial to you. Take action from our red jasper. So movement, no longer sitting on your hands, no longer kicking back and kind of just letting life live, but taking initiative. I feel like with the red jasper, with this red stone, to me is really talking about root work. It's really talking about digging deep into that rooted sort of energy. the messages. Really strong messages. Oh boy. Okay. And then we had clear quartz. And the message that is in the clear quartz is this idea of getting crystal clear. And again, I feel like it's the going deeper, finding out the information, taking action towards the knowledge and information that you will be obtaining, so that you can, again, take action towards a future and a life that you want to see manifest, and not just kind of living out fate. We want to live out our destined path and not our fated path. This fate is like life on autopilot, which again, if it's on autopilot, we don't have control over the direction that it goes. When we are able to connect, when we're able to dig deeper, dig down into the roots, like get down into the roots of things, then we are able to find out what our true purpose and path and direction is. And sometimes, you end up finding out some things that are difficult to accept, and that's a part of it too, so be prepared for that. But also be prepared to be surprised is what I'm getting. I'm getting the message that a lot of you have a really rich and deep like history as a soul, and it is going to take some energy to get deeper into that place and that space and figure out what's the strengths that you had and some of the weaknesses that you had, and using some of that knowledge and information to shape this life to be better than the previous ones. And then we have indigo, and the keyword there is to enhance. And I do feel like the message here again is, enhancing your current experience by gaining information and insight on past experiences and past life energy, and just like getting a clear direction on where to go by looking at where you've been. Okay. So that was kind of an intense message, but I do want to add some of my other some of my other tarot cards in. All right. So this is kind of like where you're at now, the type of energy that you're currently. Page of Pentacles energy. So you're focused on the physical world, the tactile, the things that you can touch and taste and see and feel. There's a newness here for you. So I'm getting the message here that in the past life, your strengths were not in the world of Pentacles. For some of you, this could be a very specific message for some of you. I'm getting the message here that in this life you are exploring the realm of Pentacles and the practical and the tactile. You're kind of getting your hands dirty, if you will. We have the Six of Cups. So a Six of Cups energy. Yeah, what I'm really getting here is this idea of companionship, this idea of like reaching out and connecting emotionally, that trying to figure out how to say what I'm feeling. Being in emotional support or receiving emotional support from those around you, your friends and your family members. loved ones. That's kind of what I'm getting. So this idea of emotional support. It's kind of your, ooh. Oh. And then we have our King of Swords. So our King of Swords is about intellect, knowledge, understanding. So I do see in your current place that you could have very strong air energy, Gemini, Aquarius, Libra, in an air sign. So Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. The reason why, because I feel like you're a master at thoughts, a master at communication, a master at knowledge and understanding, gaining knowledge. And I feel like in this manifestation of yourself that you are taking that mastery of thoughts, of communication, of ideas, of truth, and manifesting that into the world, into the worldly plane. And that is kind of where the growth is happening, in the worldly plane. Yeah, I would do some past life digging, because I feel like it would be very interesting. I'm getting like a teacher, even like a master, this is gonna sound crazy, like a master thinker, like a philosopher, but somebody who is just really good at quick on your feet when it comes to thinking, and coming up with ideas, knowing the truth, knowing when and how to trust people or not to trust people, but just having like a really strong mind space. And I feel like the lesson in this life is to convert that skill into a monetary manifestation, and to learn basically, like, I want to say like starting a business connected to the world, the air, worlds of air. So communication could be a writer, could be like a journalist or a radio personality. I feel like it could also be connected to music, wind instruments, writing lyrics, like so be a lyricist, and or monetizing like your ability to problem solve and think, and so like a judge, a lawyer. I don't know, I'm getting really specific things. This feels very, very specific to somebody, but I feel like the message, the overall energy is this idea of searching and discovering and digging deep. And again, if you're not resonating with the King of Swords energy, this could be something that Spirit is saying you need to tap more into your mental intellect and intelligence, and figuring out how to convert that energy into the worldly realm. So manifesting your thoughts into the worldly realm, making it tactile. I feel like this combination of air and earth is also talking about mental health, mental well-being as well, and kind of just being mindful of that too. All right, so these are the overall messages. Lots of messages, lots of kind of multi-message type of situations. We had a huge layout for you today, but I feel like some of the messages were very specific. But I feel overall for you, group number 3, this idea of connecting with your ancestors, this idea of doing some root work, this idea of paying attention and focusing on messages in general and gathering information. I feel like past life digging, So look a little deeper, ancestors, past life, searching for wisdom that you can obtain from your ancestors and or from your past lives. And I feel like converting that wisdom, that energy, those messages into able to like take action on that and like enhance your current experience and elevate your kind of worldly plane self. So with the Page of Pentacles, also this idea of learning, this idea of creating routines too around your like intellectual world, creating routines around like thinking, searching, discovering, collecting information. Some of you might also be in like a PhD or pursuing a PhD. I don't know. These messages seem so specific. Yeah, so those are the overall messages, and we're going to get into our questions for you to take with you for the week. So I'll be putting out probably about 3 questions. You can select one for you to push forward for the week, for you to meditate on, journal through for the week, but just a focus for the next 7 to 10 days on spiritual and or emotional health for yourself. So the first question is, am I getting enough rest to restore my energy and fully show up to my life? This is so huge for us busybodies out there. But this idea of basically taking care of your physical, corporeal being, that you need that to be functioning properly in order to accomplish anything that you're after. So be mindful of your physical health as well as your mental health. Let's feel like resting, sleep is also a mental health thing as well, which I kind of mentioned with the Sword and Pentacle energy, this idea of mental health being a focus for the week for you as well. The second question, what excuses am I making right now? We don't really have that much room, do we? Let's squeeze them in. What excuses? Oh, I didn't show you the back. No more waiting. There will never be a good enough time. The time is now. And we have take action for our red Jasper there. So just do it. Okay? Make the decision. Come up with a plan over the next week to do whatever it is that you need to take action on. I feel like the question is less about like really finding, really like getting an answer, like, oh, these are my excuses. It's less about that and more about, okay, enough excuses. Let us move into action now. All right, we are going to squeeze this last card in. It's happening. We just have to figure out how. Okay. Hold on. Can we get this? I feel like I'm playing Tetris right now because I got overzealous. It's okay. We'll figure it out. All right, we're gonna squeeze our last card. We'll figure it. We'll fit it in. It's happening. It's happening. Okay, so the third question: what is my body telling me right now? Again, a health sort of thing. Health-related question. Healing. Just paying attention to your physical and mental well-being as you go on this journey, as you embark on this journey. To also pay attention to yourself as like a living, breathing person who has to rest, and be mindful that some of the answers, especially with the root work stuff, might be difficult. to navigate through. So making sure that you are doing so responsibly and respecting your physical and mental well-being on your journey to wisdom and enlightenment, and as you discover and find this information that you are seeking. So group number 3, these are the messages that I have channeled for you today. I certainly hope this was helpful for you. If it was, make sure to drop a comment down below. Let me know what resonated. Please also make sure to click like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, as well as liking my Facebook page and checking out my Etsy shop, where I curate content there to help you on your spiritual and life journey. So from personal readings all the way to like journaling material and other sorts of stuff. So check out my Etsy shop if you're so inclined to do so. So thank you so much, beautiful soul, for your time and energy today, and I'll see you in an upcoming reading. Bye.